Hello and welcome to episode 63 of Pentagon for Gold, where today we are just continuing on with our league season, which we've started very well in. 6 wins from 6 games with 17 for our goal difference. We're playing against Flamengo, who we thought were going to be our title challengers. At the moment, they've only got 6 points from 6 games and have had some really bad results. Not quite sure what's going on there. So we'll play today against them. That'll be away, and hopefully we can continue to pile on the misery for them. And then we play Atletico Mineiro, who are second in the league, in the second game of today's episode. Now, we've done pretty well recently. As you can see, we managed to top our Copa Libertadores group quite comfortably. And then we've won every single game except one game against Emelec, where we drew 1-1, at least in the Libertadores and the league. And it's going pretty well. I'd say this team has really started to play some great stuff. We're scoring a lot of goals, not conceding too many. And I'm excited to see if we can continue this run in what should be our 2 hardest games in the league so far. Naturally, it's a strong squad for this game against Flamengo. They do have Juan Carlos Sucar in goal. He is currently wanted by Tottenham and PSG, so I don't know if I'm actually able to buy him at any point unless I go to one of those clubs. Alexander is also a star player for them and is wanted by Manchester United. The rest of their team doesn't seem to be amazing compared to those two at least, but those two are, I think, probably the best players in the division, even ahead of the likes of Minho. So we've gone with a pretty strong squad. The usual defence, the usual midfield. Victor Hugo Nunez has been very good recently, so he's playing. And Thiago Emiliano, who's actually asked to leave the club, because he wants to go to a bigger club, which I turned down and he wasn't very happy. He is on a fitness test but is going to be playing today. And Diego Carlos has moved into, I think he's playing as a midfielder? Maybe as a winger actually, I'm not quite sure. He's one of those players that's very versatile, and I've generally played him as a Mazzala, but given that I'm playing Thiago Emiliano and Victor Hugo Nunez in this game, I think I must have him in a different position. And where do I have him? I'll be able to see if I look on the tablet. No, I won't. It's a tough one. We'll work it out when I make a sub. I think he's probably a right winger today. And Sydney is not playing today. That's an oversight of mine. He's been absolutely outstanding since I joined the club. He's got I think probably the second or third most goals in the club, and he's got 15 assists already this season. He is absolutely unreal. I'm really enjoying him. He's got interest from Porto, got him tied down to a new contract with a 40 million release clause to foreign clubs. So if we do get 40 million from him, I'd be sad to see him go, but at least you're getting some decent money from it. But I kind of hope he just stays because he's been so good for us. Here is Alexander. He's unlikely to miss from here, but it's a good save from Gustavo Mateus. A little bit too central, that shot from Alexandro. I don't know why, but Gustavo Mateus and Belly are always a bit nervous during these games. I don't know what their personalities are. Perhaps they're just balanced, which might be the problem. What's the determination? 15 determination, so he's definitely not balanced. And we'll have a look at Mateus in a moment. We'll go with the same. Oh, actually, we can go for the revenge team talk. Let's do that. Don't think I was at the club when that happened, but Diego Carlos, that's a really good pass. And finds Rosas beautifully, and Minho's very unlucky not to score there. Franco perhaps taken out from behind, but it's cleared out and no penalty is given. A little bit of a shame that we didn't get one there. I would have thought that was deserving of one, but clearly not. They clearly got a good foot in, and fairly ambitious for Mateus. What's Belly's actual personality? Fairly determined, so I don't know quite why they often get nervous. We have been the better team so far this game, but not quite finding that cutting edge that we really could do with. I think Diego Carlos probably can come off. Unless maybe we'll take off Victor Hugo Nunez, get Thiago Emiliano as our box-to-box, and get Sydney on, because Sydney is quite something when he gets going. Bit nervous at the moment for some reason, but I'm sure he'll be okay. Perhaps Diego Carlos should come off. He's a little bit low rated today. Douglas won't be playing in the next game because he's got a yellow card. That is a shame. Perhaps Vinicius can come on for Thiago Emiliano. and get Vinicius Enrique in our midfield for the rest of this game. Let's encourage the boys. That's done a good job of improving the mentalities. Sydney now with the free kick, whips it in, comfortably claimed by Shakar, who made no mistake. That's the sort of dominant goalkeeping that we have come to expect from him. Oh, we're behind. Alexandro scores a brilliant strike. It was Shakar assisting Alexandro, and that's frustrating. We don't deserve to be losing this, to be honest. João Paulo into an attempted throw in, but Gavassi is able to head it clear, and Sydney loses the ball but only finds his way to Franco. Now Sydney again, and that's not what I'm used to from Sydney. Let's demand more. Come on, lads. Late equaliser, please. Ah, well, there we go. That looks like that's going to be a loss. I'm not happy with that. I think we deserve to win that, and it just shows that when you've got a top goalkeeper like Sakar and a top striker like Alexandro, it can be enough, and that will probably help them get back on form, because they were doing awfully. They've lost to some teams you wouldn't expect them to lose to, and it's frustrating that we've dropped points to them. I have actually declared interest in Sakai. He's not keen on the move at the moment, but I'm hoping that I can just somehow get him in. 19 million would be the potential price, but look at those stats. He looks unbelievable, and I think he had 20 vision once, but maybe not. And as you can see, there's some big interest from PSG, Tottenham and us, so something tells me if we did bid for him, the other clubs would go for him as well, because that seems to happen with every single player I want at the moment. But I guess that's just the way FM goes sometimes. As soon as you show some interest in a player, then the other clubs will come in and try and nick them away from you. In this battle of first versus second, we've had to go with Joaquin Ramos at right back instead of Douglas, because Douglas is now suspended after getting too many yellow cards. That means that we've got an extra foreign player in that lineup, and as a result, Victor Hugo Nunez has had to drop out of the matchday squad entirely, which is a bit of a shame. I think I need to buy more Brazilians than foreign players where I can, and I'll probably be looking to move on Joaquin Ramos, because he's not amazing and he's taking up one of the foreign player slots. Sydney therefore comes back into the side on the right hand side with Diego Carlos moving back into the Mazzala role in the midfield, and Thiago Emiliano playing as a box to box. Think that's a better general dynamic anyway, but it's a shame not to have our first choice right back in Douglas and having to play Joaquin Ramos instead. But Victor Hugo Nunez has just been so good recently that it was, I had to play him in that last game really, and unfortunately it didn't work out for us. And there we go, Altair gets us ahead early on with a really good strike. He wouldn't be the first choice of player for me if I was looking for a guy to score, but I'm very happy that he has. What is his long shots? I assume they're not great, and that was just a bit of a fluke. 10's okay, I guess, but he's not a regular goal scorer. Sydney sends it in, and Belly gets his first goal for the club. That's a great cross from Sydney, really good header from Belly, and this is more like the performance that I was hoping for. Much better than the Flamengo game, at least so far. A lot more clinical. Don't quite know why they're going with this form. 5-1-2-2 really, or a 5-3-2, but with a defensive midfielder. It's so defensive, and I don't really see how they can get much width with a flat back five. And it's just not a great set of dynamics, I would have thought. But I don't mind them playing a formation that doesn't seem to work very well. I'd much rather have that than losing an important game against Flamengo. Alzate throws it in directly to Thiago Emiliano, and now Sydney can break past his man. Good pass in Diego Carlos. Rosas has the overlap from Altair. Cross deflects back to him, and he finds Migno, who heads it home. All 5'5" of him. He scored a couple of headers actually for us this season. He seems to be better in the air than you'd have thought. I wonder if his heading stat is quite good. Always seems to happen. Let's not have the performance levels drop. Gustavo Mateus is demotivated, but everyone else is okay. So if we have a look at Migno, his heading is 13. Yeah, so he's actually all right when he does get his head on it. It's just being a bit short. It doesn't happen very often. Whacked clear to Gavassi. who's taken all the time in the world to actually collect that ball, and now Ramos. Good pass into Rosas, beats his man, and then shanks his shot a little bit wide, skews it a little bit. Not ideal, but we're in control here. Boys are still playing well. We'll take it. Rosas into Migno and Sidney. Oh, that's a cracking header from Sidney. Really good goal. 10th goal of the season. So 10 goals, 16 assists now in something like 22, 23 games, I think. He's an unreal player. And also, I think the reason he gets so many assists is his high passing technique. Very fast, good flair. He's a really fun player. And I don't think statistically he's as good as, or attributes-wise, he's as good as some top wingers, but certainly plays like one, so I might have to try and get him wherever I go next. Altair into Thiago Emiliano, now Sidney. Ramos. Good tackle from Lasso. Oh, that's a good claim from Ciro. Wasn't a bad header from Rosas. Belly into Rosas, and now Diego Carlos on a yellow card finds Sidney really well, who beats his man beautifully and scores again. What a player. This guy is quite something. Let's get Diego Carlos off just to protect him from getting another card. I think Edson Rosas can probably come off as well. Get the two Viniciuses on. And let's get Sidney off. Keep him protected. We don't have all that many great sub options, so I think I'm going to be needing to try and sign some in the next window. And actually, the Brazilian window is still open. It's just the foreign players you can't buy. And there's a couple of players I want to go for. I'm looking at a centre back at the moment, and then if I can't get him, which is unlikely because he's going to Sheffield United most likely because they're offering him a ton more money. I think I would probably go for. I think Atletico Mineiro actually have a really good centre mid, who is called. I think something Alessandro. I think it might be Gabriel Alessandro. We'll see in a moment, but yeah, he's a good box-to-box midfielder. And particularly if Thiago Emiliano is unhappy, it might be worth replacing him with that guy. And Vinicius now gets in on the act with a cross from Otavio Essensal, so even the substitutes are getting in on it. Where was finishing like this in the Flamengo game? Breaks out to Ramos. Goes past Lasso. Finds Thiago Emiliano. And now Migno. Oh, that looked like it was going in. But we're still winning 6-0, so I'll take it. Well, and look at this. Their goal difference is now down to 0 again. Very few teams with a positive goal difference. Slightly crazy, but we're on 22, so we're in a good position if we end up on the same points as other teams. But let's hope that doesn't happen. We can just win the league pretty easily. We're already 6 points clear with a game in hand on Atletico Mineiro. Obviously, Corinthians 2 games in hand on us. They could go up to 19 points. And yeah, there's so many weird, lots of differences between the number of games played for most teams. But you know, we'll take where we are at the moment. We're in a really good position. No one can overtake us as of now. And yeah, Migno's already 1 goal away from a goal bonus, which you'll take. Sidney, really good performance from him. Let's have a look at his overall stats. So 4 goals and 6 assists in 7 starts in the Brasileiro Assai Serie A. 1 goal, 4 assists in the Libertadores. 6 goals, 6 assists in the Paulista Secredi. So we've got 11 goals and 16 assists in 20 starts. What a player. He is mental. Now, we do actually know who we have in the next round of the Copa Libertadores. We've got Boca Juniors, who are a bit of a hard opponent, but we should be able to beat them regardless because the Brazilian league is better than the Argentinian league, but it won't be easy necessarily. So hopefully we can get a good result against them and head through to, I think it's the quarters after that. Before then, we've got a lot of league games, but I don't think there's any point showing you any of those. We can just come back for Boca Juniors and hopefully get the win we need to head through. And yeah, we've got Flamengo and Atletico Mineiro there again. I wonder if is it still doing the weird thing with the same. Oh yeah, it's just the the same order of teams that we're playing throughout the season. It's really frustrating. It happens all the time, but I hadn't really thought about it in the last few years. But yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. But if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a fantastic day.